He had no dignity. That's what I was missing. There was no dignity. It just looked like a man desperate for attention. And whenever DeSantis was scoring points on him, he would interrupt over and over to try to talk over the points as just that's like a middle school debate tactic, which is pathetic and not effective.
They were in a special session to figure out how to sue Trump while LA is burning. And meanwhile, Gavin's going out there all the time being like, well, boy, it'd be really terrible if Trump, withheld disaster aid or heaven forbid, required that we, get our shit together. And then literally he's like, we're going to sue him for implementing the agenda he was elected on by a majority of the American people.
So it's just an MSNBC agenda. It's just a silly rich white liberal agenda.
Gavin Newsom has spent years polishing his image like a campaign prop. But when Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson roast him, that polish peels off faster than cheap paint on a San Francisco sidewalk. The slick hair, the TED Talk speeches, the fake charm, reduced to nothing more than a mannequin in Armani stuffed with hot air.
Newsom has decided to hire 2 young whippersnapper press people who look a lot like the Karine Jean-Pierre press pool. Like the people she was using in her press office who look like these, weird hats and strange haircuts and like the Rainbow Coalition. So he's hired 2 of those folks to write his tweets. And here's an example of where it's going. His entire tweet feed has turned into imitations of what might be a Trump tweet.
Newsom struts like California's gift to humanity, but Kelly cuts through the act. Beneath the grin and the suit is a man who governs like an actor fumbling a script. His brand is optics, not results, posing for cameras while California collapses behind him.
Newsom, he's a far left progressive, and Bill Maher just came out in favor of him. But he's the most radical Democrat in America. Honestly, his politics may be left of the squads. He would be a hard no. I don't care how good his hairline is. They're going to say no.
Tucker follows with acid sarcasm. Newsom isn't a governor. He's auditioning for a role nobody cast him in. He talks like a movie trailer, but the plot never moves. Homelessness, crime, blackouts, every crisis met with glossy speeches and no solutions.
In addition to all the other problems that California has, housing prices there are higher than any place in the country. The median home price in the state of California is now more than $800,000. That's more than double the nationwide median. In recent years, because this really is a problem, leaders in California passed dozens of bills they claim would fix the problem. Governor Jerry Brown, the last guy, signed 15 housing bills just in 2017. Last year, Gavin Newsom signed 18 separate housing.
Kelly skewers his obsession with optics. California under Newsom is run like a movie set. Perfect backdrops, dramatic sound bites, fake hero shots, while the state burns off camera.
It looks, forgive me, but it looks like a nuclear bomb hit the region. Just a huge swath of one of our most beautiful cities is gone. So all these politicians are done. They don't appear to know it, but Mayor Bass, your career's over. You're probably going to be recalled and kicked out of office. There's a change.com petition with over 100,000 signatures. She's going. I don't know if she knows that. Gavin Newsom, same. You're effed. Stop telling us about the embers in your hair.
Tucker hammers the hypocrisy. The French Laundry dinner is his career in one image. Rules for everyone else, luxury for him. California suffers, he feasts.
Did they work? Not at all. They did not work for the people who live in California, but they weren't intended to work for people who want to buy houses. Instead, those bills had one purpose: destroying suburban homes and replacing them with high-density housing. Real estate developers make more money when single-family homes are leveled and replaced with apartment complexes, obviously. And real estate developers happen to be major donors to the Democratic Party of California, and in particular to Gavin Newsom.
Kelly sharpens it further. He preaches equity while crushing the middle class, wagging his finger at America as his own state crumbles. Tucker nails the metaphor. Newsom is a captain giving motivational speeches while his ship sinks.
More. Thank you, -GCN, with an image of Newsom on Mount Rushmore. Then there's a poster image of Kid Rock pointing like Uncle Sam. It reads, "Kid Rock wants you to support Gavin Newsom." Captioned on X, "I accept -GCN. Kid Rock, by the way, replied saying the only support Gavin Newsom will ever get out of me is from D's nuts.
And then comes the ambition. He doesn't just govern, he auditions for president, every mirror whispering Oval Office fantasies. Tucker jokes his hair gets more prep time than his policies.
Charlie's correct. He's hurting himself with his liberal base by doing these interviews of people like Charlie and Steve and Michael Savage. It's because the thing about Gavin Newsom is he's not very good at pushing back. So he's not going in there and doing battle with the Charlies and the Bannons of the world. He's somewhat obsequious, to be honest with you.
Even his big housing reform bills. Donor payback dressed as policy, bulldozing suburbs while rewarding real estate friends.
For George Marcus was one of Gavin Newsom's biggest donors in the recent recall election. So this week, after surviving the recall, tragically, Gavin Newsom rewarded those real estate developers with the biggest, quote, housing bill ever. Newsom just signed a series of bills, most notably SB 9 and SB 10, that will abolish the suburbs in
The roast reaches its climax. Newsom confuses confidence with competence. Kelly strips away the swagger to reveal excuses and failure. Tucker leaves his vanity, hypocrisy, and ego scattered like props from a bad movie.
Industry Association, which represents, quote, interests of builders and developers of housing and commercial projects. There are about to be quite a few new commercial projects in California's suburbs. As the New York Times put it, quote, SB 9 essentially ends single-family zoning. Property owners now have the state's approval to convert any single-family home in the state of California into a 4-unit apartment complex.
Here's the ultimate humiliation. Strip away the speeches and the gloss, and Gavin Newsom's leadership is just an illusion. Megyn Kelly nails it. His pressers sound less like governing updates and more like self-help seminars where he's both the guru and the case study. All applause, no results.
Think of what Gavin Newsom is doing right now with this podcast, because I've said I'm against conservatives going on his podcast because I think it's helping him train for 2028.
Yeah,
I don't think we should help him.
I agree completely. I didn't think that. I know Gavin Newsom. I text with him occasionally. I am from the state of California. I'm from originally San Francisco. And I have relatives who know him. And I've been friends with Gavin Newsom for a long time. I know his ex-wife. I have been bothering him for years. Like, you should come on my show. And he was kind of open to it. And then he whips around and he's like, no, you should come on mine. I was like, oh, I would love to, because I would love to debate him about what he's done to my state.
Tucker piles on with brutal sarcasm. Under Newsom, success is always coming tomorrow, but never today. Taxes climb higher, services collapse, and California bleeds cash like a bad gambler losing poker chips. Kelly twists the knife, pointing out that Newsom treats budgets as stage props, not real plans.
And then I watched a parade of people go on, some of whom are good friends of mine, by the way, conservatives go on his show. And I realized, and I'm not attacking them at all, I almost did, but then I realized, oh, wait a second, this is like, the point of this is not to have a real conversation or to answer questions. The point of this is to rehabilitate. And I would say of Gavin, like, he's legit smart. I don't think there's anything at all at the core other than misery, another deeply, deeply unhappy person.
Then comes crime. California cities are drowning in theft and chaos while Newsom preaches compassion from a podium. Kelly slams the disconnect. Leadership isn't poetry, it's safety. Tucker seals the roast with savage irony, saying California should just replace its welcome signs with "Enter at your own risk."